All right, welcome back to the final Wook Plus MSG recap. The final four, fellas. The one you don't have to go home, but you can't stay at MSG anymore. How
I'm
are you,
ready to go
fellas?
home.
You're ready.
I'm
I can
ready to go
tell.
home.
T is literally. Tell us where you're at, T.
I am currently in a cab on the way to Brooklyn, calling it a night. It's time to get out of the city. It's time to start my trip back to LA. So
Completely
we'll be back
understandable.
Tuesday, Monday night. But yes.
Nice. No
But I
sleep.
digress. I'm here now. Let's discuss the night four of a hell of a run.
Wow. Unbelievable. Kev, we've got the great Went up there, Colonel Went. They
Colonel
they
went.
do they often call him, if we're gonna use in the parlance of our time here. How are you today, fella?
I'm fantastic. That was the best first set of the whole run?
Oh my
That
gosh.
was one of the best first sets I've probably seen in 20 years, man.
If that if it,
Just looking at it on
My
paper
perfect show
wise.
would have been the first set from the night and the second set from the 21st.
Yep.
That would
Yep.
have been a perfect
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. Well, let's talk
Interesting.
about that coming right out of the gate with a fluff head on night four. I mean, not messing around. Just here you
Very
go.
it's a very old school feel to it. I'm calling it the Van Halen jump set because there was three different songs where they actually jump in this set. Fluffhead was the first jumping scenario, and interesting, you would keep the jump songs till night four, and
Right.
you
When no one has legs.
exactly. But
It's funny you
yeah,
say that too, fam, because the guy I was sitting next to tonight, we were talking encores. I was like, man, I hope it's a Yem encore. And he's like, yeah. He's like, they've been jumping enough tonight. Just bring the trams out. He's like, it would make sense. I was like, right. So he kind of felt like it was going that way. And then no luck. At least, I mean, we got the Bowie, which I'm not going to complain about. And Wilson was nice too. But skipping ahead, sorry, I didn't mean to jump into the
no,
encore
it's
there. But
understandable. We got into talking about jumping, right? So
right.
I
So
thought it
just
was
sort
really
of,
interesting. Very precise Fluffhead, good Fluffhead. It's not, it did what Fluffhead
yeah,
does, which is awesome.
right.
And again, to open a show is incredible. It's interesting though. After Chula, you do have kind of a very, direct comparison when
Well, what's funny with that you said that, I was going to say there was a few similarities to Chula. We had a Piper tonight. We had there was like four songs that were the same as Chula in
really
this one, and
interesting.
it was very interesting to have those in there because I was thinking that during the show, and I was like, instead of getting that NICU fest like we did in Chula, they kind of went a different direction and had the mics and all that stuff in there. But there was about four songs I remember hearing tonight that I was like, oh, this was kind of Chula esque, which was
No,
fine because Chula was a burner of a show, so you'll take
Right.
exactly.
anything you can from that. But yeah, that fluff was, I that's one of my top
The
three, four
Mike's
songs that I
groove.
love. So it was perfect to hear it open, and then that mics. I mean, and then it's like that 1-2 punch, which I am going to say too. One that four nights in a row, the opening song we got White Lights. All four nights. Like, talk about coming out of the gates and just blasting you, right? I mean, it is like we are ready to rock and throw down. Here we go, people.
No, that's a
Love it.
great point. There was no like throw in opening tracks.
No,
Really
and
in
not even in
any
like a bag or something like that. I mean, it was like throwdowns all four nights. So
really interesting. Yeah, in that way. So they came out really fast. Kind of the mics was a nice little blazer. Didn't really go super deep, about a 10-minute mics. Then hydrogen. They've really been kind of sticking to the formula of Mike's hydrogen weekapaw,
love
kind
it.
of the old school
Love it.
formula, which is great. Which
And at that point, fam, sorry to interrupt you, but to that point, not getting that simple inside of that was so nice. Like, and then they went ahead and waited and played simple on its own, which I thought was awesome because very old school guy that I am, I love a straight Mike's hydrogen pog. Like, to me, that's just how it should always be. And then you get the simple right after that, which was awesome. Like, just 1-2 punch and then a third punch.
exactly. Where are you at on this simple, Kev? Was this one of your
I
highlights or?
loved it. I'm wondering if they did that little. Do you call that egg in a hole a tease? Because it wasn't the whole song.
Here's my thing. To me, I mean, at least again, it would take a little bit of time to, do a little research, but I don't know that it's the actual tune. It's close to "Egg in the Hole," but and it really what's interesting to me, it happened several times throughout this show and throughout the whole run, is Mike's got this like little improv-y, like I'm just gonna throw out random shit, and I really think it got into this really grimy jam that had big egg in a hole kind of feel to it. And then Mike's just like, let's just start saying egg in a hole. And then it really got into like a quasi egg in a hole jam, right? And they said the words, and got through it, and then back into simple, which was really cool. They
which
like
was fun.
yeah. So good.
This run, there was only one Kazakh song, right? There was only one, The Howling, Sci-Fi Soldiers with part of Egg in a Hole, but we're deciding that's not that. And there was only one song off his solo album, Lonely Trip Tonight.
Well, and we got a first tube, and not a lot of covers to your point like last night, other than 2000.
Right, but first tube was on Farmhouse, so I kind of fudged that.
You kind of still take that, yeah. Okay, that's fair enough. But yeah, I mean that thing ripped too. What a way! I think we've had that discussion many times on the shows about where we like to have a first tube, opener, set closer, encore. Wherever you throw it, it's perfect, and it was a great spot again tonight.
Yeah.
Yep. I like
Trav, you're a little. I wonder if it's the mask probably or something, but I wonder if you position your. I don't know. It's just a little crackly. Are you hearing that too, Kev?
Yeah, I am.
Probably.
I don't know. It's weird. You also are literally in an Uber.
There really aren't many bad simples. I mean, some of the early simples are small because it was just a new song, and
yeah,
they were throwing it on the end of. I think most of the first ones were all tied to mics.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah. Exactly. When they first came out, it was kind of either it came with the hydrogen or it was like the replacement for hydrogen. Right. It was kind of like, well,
kind of disappeared for a while because it was always.
Yes. But I wrote it down, more Mike improv, because that's really, to me, what brought in the egg in a hole. And then you get A Divided Sky, which keeps with the old school theme, right? More jumping.
Right. I think that's Tim's first favorite song. I always think of him when I hear Divided Sky.
So good. So good. Smiles all around. Just, during it is one of those moments where live Phish in a couch tour situation, it is kind of cool because then it's kind of nice to, when they zoom in on him, like during the pauses and stuff, so you can kind of see him counting, and with his mouth, he's just smiling and grinning as big as can be, just having a blast with it. So that was really cool to see. And then, yeah, like Trav said, the first tube is like big sustained dance party. I think, like Trav said, and I'm gonna say this out loud too, I think the new rail policy is ultimately going to be very positive, and you could see the energy from the people. Like, I thought first tube was a good example, and I watched because Trav had mentioned that, and I watched very specifically, and like people, it was just a different little feel up there. So that was cool, but yeah, I think it's a universally, like everyone, all the buzz is like, Jesus, that set, was like the one, right? So good.
Yeah.
So how far are you from Brooklyn, by the way? Let's keep track of where you're at here, Trav. So how far is like MSG from Brooklyn? I'm a Midwest guy.
22 minutes, I think, in the cab to go.
22 minutes is all. Okay.
Yeah.
Brooklyn.
Yeah, which there's no traffic. It's also 1:00 at night, so
Fair. I just never think.
Right now.
You say no traffic, right? But you live in LA, you're in New York, right? I'm in, where I live in the Midwest. Like, I think you and me have probably a different, idea of
traffic.
what's no traffic, right? Especially at 1:00 in the morning. Like, if I started rolling around at 1:00 in the morning right now, like, it's me and the cops. That's literally the only people on the
one of these
on the roads. So this No Man's, let's get to talking about this No Man's, because this is really 27-minute, the longest No Man's ever. I wrote like skunky groove, like very skunky, the vortex lights, I know. Like everything about it was awesome. How'd it feel in the room?
Jammy. I mean, I'm always a big fan of that song, and it's jam, and it was fun. And
what did they
like 26 minutes, I
with?
didn't realize. It just kept going.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kev.
What are they? First Tube. First Tube.
Oh, First Tube. Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I
First
just
Tube.
want to go back real quick and say that Divided Sky, that was the first song I ever heard live, Kev, at that 93 Red Rock show, my first show. And so anytime I get that, it's just such a special tune. It goes right to my heart. So
And
that's
do you
always a
think in your
favorite
head,
of mine.
I hope a harpoon is coming?
Yes, I do. And I'm also like, all you people that are jamming to this right now, you should see it at Red Rocks after a storm when it's really like pays its real like
And Trey
payoff.
goes, the storm's gone.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
such an
You
iconic
know,
moment.
Travis, I know this is a total aside, but standing in the parking lot, people were saying before that show that it was going to get moved indoors.
We're saying
Yeah.
what?
That Red Rock show, people were like, it's going to get moved to McNichol because of
Oh,
all
yeah.
the rain.
Yep.
And then it stopped 15 minutes before showtime or something?
Yep. Cleared up and it became a beautiful Colorado evening like it does and was just epic.
I bought a ticket at the box office before the show.
That's insane. For like $10 too back then.
Right.
And
The
3
next
years
year, you
later,
had
there
to
was
buy 'em
riots.
beforehand. By 94,
Right.
you had to buy them before.
Yeah.
3 years later, you burned the city down. Burned down Morrison.
3 years later, they were like, "You are no longer welcome in the city or the state of Colorado. Actually, definitely the city of
Never
Morrison."
playing again.
Right. So this No Man's Lands in the Caspian, which
No.
has people have opinions on, right?
No
But
Man's
I thought
Pants.
No Man's Pants. But I think it was a perfect landing spot, and it was really short. It kind of, it wasn't one of those things where you almost expect after the No Man's, you almost expect a lonely trip there or
Right.
something ballady and slow. The Caspian kind of comes through, and then you get the Piper, right, which is another just. I can't even. It goes through different. This is where you really see like the dexterity of Phish, right, in this Piper jam. Because I wrote like, it's a real chill jam. Then it's a metal jam. Then it's a reggae jam. It's absolutely bonkers. How was it in the room? Yeah, this is cool. Just for me, this just blows me away. Like, what's this guy doing? Let's yell at this guy back there. What are you doing back there, guy? I feel like I want to be like a New York driver, like, and just start flipping people off. I just imagine that's what it's like. Here we wave at everyone.
Blowing your horn. They love to blow their horns.
Yeah, just blow. I know. The one time I went to New York, I went to. Well, I've been a couple times, but both Phish related. I went to Radio City in 2000, and then I went through there to when we came home from it. And yeah, we stayed both times like near like downtown, kind of Times Square-ish, very touristy. And it was like, why are these people honking? And it's all hours of the night. It's like, what are you honking at? Like, I don't even think there's even people to honk at, but they're just honking. It's like it's a reflex,
They love their horn.
Yeah, what are they doing that for?
I don't know, but they love it. I've noticed that too.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
in LA, they just sit there. There's nothing to honk at because no one's moving. The
Right,
traffic is.
Yeah.
Like, what are you honking at, bro? Like, we haven't moved in 2 hours. What's going on? So yeah, let's get back off traffic report on Wook Plus traffic report here, and we'll talk about
I was just
how
giving you
that
some of the
Piper.
sites.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what's that? Is that the Brooklyn Bridge?
Oh,
Is that what that is?
you're asking
Yeah.
me? This is like my second time to do that. I have no idea.
Hey, fam, I got this bridge. You can see it right now.
What?
Only for $150.
Oh, nice. You got a bridge?
I'll sell you a bridge.
Oh, you sell me one. Nice. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona.
Sam, do you ever think we're going to get a slow bill Piper again, or is that
No.
something of the past?
It's 100% of the past. I can promise you that. There's a level of patience, I think, that's different with him in these moments. And I think he can still do like a 27-minute No Man's, but I think I think in a song like that, he's gonna want to get to the lyrics and then get to the jam on the backside, which is interesting because there really used to be that, again, that build up, that I don't know, you just know. I would
You'd
say
have a good 4 minutes, 5 minutes sometimes. before
exactly.
it-
That was awesome, and no, that's never gonna happen again.
And
I
I
don't
thought the
think
Piper was good. I think that it was,
it got
was good.
metally, got kind of dark.
Yep. There was a couple times I got a little dark tonight, darker than they've gotten in the past few nights.
Yeah, 100%. And this Jaboo, the Jaboo is also another classic Jaboo. I mean, this is where you go, okay. I mean, I was preparing myself after the first set, right, to go, oh man, this may be a Sunday night like Deer Creek where it's like a one of those mashup sets,
Match upsets, right?
right? Or it is maybe like a very new song driven, which I mean, it is not really. I guess there's a couple in there, but you almost think it might be a letdown after that first set. But man, it's very good, and the Jaboo is excellent, man. A Fishman tonight. I don't know. Does Fishman come through in the venue like he does in the mix?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, because it was just like I just thought in particular this Jaboo was like I called it the Fishman Review because I just like
It's funny you say that too, fam, because at Set Break I ran into Kev and we had a little conversation out in the concourse, and we both said that same thing. We were like, either second set could be a burp or it could just go down in flames. We're like, after that first set, you never know where we're going from here.
100%. That's
you know what
go
I
down in
said?
flames.
Sam, I said tonight
stayed
we're going to
a
do a
burn, but
special performance of Ghost of the Forest in its entirety.
oh geez, here we go. This guy here. I forgot to
this
do
guy
that.
in Ghost of the Forest.
Yeah, I know, man. I get it.
We
you
only
know,
got one Ghost of the Forest this weekend.
we did.
Two.
We did. That is
what, drift while you're sleeping and what?
Oh, we also got the encore was the dream. Dream song.
Life Beyond a Dream. Right.
Yes, correct.
I always
correct.
say that as a Susan Tedeschi song.
Right. Well, she does do it much better, honestly, than Phish. 100%. I think that's actually if the Ghost of the Forest version is way better because you have Jen and Natalie singing with, not Natalie, Elise, on that record, and it's 100% better because the vocals are 100. I mean, the Ghost of the Forest album is really a vocal-driven album, and when Phish plays it live, you're missing the best singers of Ghost of the Forest, which is kind of a problem. I do get that 100% because I'm a vocals guy and the singer. Well, okay.
The two times Trey has tried to play Ghost of the Forest without that band, once with Phish and one with John Fishman's Almost Tab, I caught both of them.
Yeah. Nice. It's following you around, buddy. Keep complaining about it. It'll keep following you around.
Sure there was a Ruby Waves coming last night.
Yeah, I know you're a Ruby guy too. So how about this? Where are you guys at? Are you guys thumbs up or thumbs down on the electric dance music Phish with the I Always Wanted It This Way? Where are you guys at on that?
I'm good with that.
Big thumbs up on that from Kev.
Yeah, and the lights were insane. Like he did this like total UFO with the top lights, and then like would come down in a vortex and then come back up and like spun them around. It was so cool. So cool.
That sounds
it was awesome.
Frightening.
That's the studio version of I Always Wanted It This Way might be the best cuddle in Big Boot.
Accurate. Yeah. Also, because I listened to it actually for a while because I'm convinced that this one actually is at the beginning. It's Cake by the Ocean by a group called Dance. Have you ever heard that, Trav?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Got married to, they got married to that song coming out, and they introduced you or whatever. It was so because they got married at the ocean, but it was very funny. So yeah, I love that. I know that song. That's funny you said that. That's true, fam.
Dude, when you listen to it, and so I thought to myself, okay,
I'm going in the tunnel. I may lose you guys. So just
oh, no worries. That's crazy. Going into a tunnel. Oh man, I'm nervous for you. It's gonna be okay though. You're going into a tube. You'll never get out of that tube. First
Look,
tube.
you can actually see me now.
I know you're all lit up. That's crazy. Oh, that's right, because they don't want people. That's what they do in the bridges, sadly, around here too. I don't think they want people in there sleeping or hanging out. They just want to make it like a nuclear level bright lights. It's crazy. Yeah. So Cake by the Ocean happened, that's why I listened to the actual studio record. Kev, going back to your point, which is amazing. That is definitely the best track on there. And it doesn't have that little Cake by the Ocean little riff, so I'm like, that is very purposeful. Then Lonely Trip, emotional, right? How did it feel, Lonely Trip? Where were you guys at during Lonely Trip, like around people wise? Whose people were you around?
He's Travis Fraser.
That was
Maybe I should remove
I
Trav.
was with Penny.
You're with Penny.
But
Yes.
you know, my thing with that, every time I hear that song, I can't help but hear Slip Away, which is cool because I love that song. So I'm like, I like the groove. I like the little soul light groove to it. There he is, All Night Strong.
On 4 nights strong. Yes,
Night
exactly.
Strong.
So yeah, who were you around then? So Kev was around Penny. Who were you around? Because I know Alex wasn't there tonight. Who were you around tonight, Kev or Trav?
just some randoms, random folk. I got one of our good friends, thanks to Kevin, hooked me up tonight with a miracle ticket. Got miracled in, which was fantastic. Everybody gets in, and let me tell you, the show didn't disappoint with the miracle. But so I was just in a random row with some really cool people. The guy to my left was very cool. We talked like the whole show and danced, and he was fun with his girlfriend. And then to my right was just a couple other guys. They didn't really know. They definitely didn't know Lonely Trip. But I loved it. That was another Chula song. First two, Lonely Trip. See, we got these.
Oh no, I think I'm pulling at least gonna have that sucks. I hate.
Yeah, I told when Travis said he was in the next section to me.
Oh really?
The past couple nights we had open seats in our row. But tonight, of course, there were 9 extra people in our row, or I was going to drag him over to sit with us.
How I had no idea. So of course for me, I'm like, wow, I probably should. That's why when you do a show, you're like, oh, I'm gonna ask you this question, and then you guys go like, no, it's not sentimental at all, and then I'm like, oh, I don't ask that question, right? Because I'm assuming you guys are some around our crew, around people, and you're just like hugging and crying and emotions are dripping down because I'm a melting mess during Lonely Trip now,
right?
And so I guess I project that on everyone, so oh, Trav looks like he's a little bit feeling
there
he is, a little
out
less,
of the tunnel.
Yeah,
that's right. We came up from underwater. I'm now no longer on the bottom of the ocean.
Right. In some ways let's be honest, it's pretty impressive that you can talk on a device under the ocean at all, right? Like that's
I know, right?
In an Uber.
I know. I didn't lose you guys at all. I could hear and watch you guys the whole time. It's crazy.
Insane. Walls of the Cave. And I've had this conversation with you guys before, I'm pretty sure, but this is a World Trade Center song, and it's very much a New York song now. And it's almost always played in MSG.
Why is it the World Trade Center?
Because I'm telling you, because it's Walls of the Cave. It's WTC. I think when they've asked Tom about it and when they've asked Trey about it, I think the answer's always been it of course was written before it, or no, sorry, it was written around it or a little bit after it, but it didn't really in their mind make it that, but people kind of started to feel like it might be, and then they kind of got it, and then I'll just tell you they play it
after,
they play it every time in New York.
2001, right?
It would have been right around the time that it happened, but I'll have to find that story. But I'm convinced that it is very much at least it's a New York.
Surprised there weren't more songs written about that.
Yeah, well, because it's but think about the ones that were, right? And they were so bad. And that's probably what happened. Like Alan Jackson.
The Radiators did a song, Everybody's Got a Friend in New York, after that.
Drink. Well, I've got a root beer. I've got a root beer I can drink from my Radiators.
I got my barley wine.
Delicious. I shouldn't chew the ice.
Mug or A&W?
It is A&W. A&W right now.
I tell you what, Walls of the Cave has grown on me, though. I used to be like, yeah, just get to the jam. But tonight I was listening to it, and it just felt right.
There you go. I love that.
It always rips. It's a fun one.
Yeah, exactly. It's always good. Then we got, so we get Wilson. I think a couple things, right, that I thought were really interesting. And if you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe and like that YouTube channel, you will find that you guys spent some time, and we had an interview with Tom Marshall about some story, and he told some stories, right? And a couple of the stories really came up. One, the jumping, because he said he ran into Trey accidentally practicing jumping when he was a kid. Like when they were real young, he was jumping, like doing rock star moves and stuff. So that was one of the stories that Tom told. Another story that Tom told was about Wilson and how he he wrote Wilson with some other friends, not really Trey involved, right? And that story's kind of, we know the Aaron Wolf story and all those things, and he was involved, the guy, Aaron Wolf. And what he did say though that I thought was pretty new is that he basically, they came up to Trey with it, or they were coming up to a bunch of people, right, and going and singing the song Wilson, doing all that, and no one was laughing. They would ask people like, do you get it, and people were like, what do you mean, like, what are you talking about, this stupid. Then they come up to Trey, right, and they sing Trey this song, and they're like, do you get it? And Trey's like cracking up and is like, yes, I love it, I want to write a song, I'm going to write more about it. And that's where it took off, and Tom coined Gamehenge, and so it kind of shot off from there. So I just thought it was so interesting to like hear those stories, and then those songs happened, tonight, which was super cool. Yeah. And cool. How did it feel like to yell Wilson and MSG? Like, to me, that's the ultimate, like, yes, I want to yell Wilson and MSG someday.
That was fun. You will. It was fun. I mean, it was fun. It's everything about it is memorable in MSG. It's just different. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know, man. I know. And then Bowie, right?
Bowie. Love it. Bowie, a Maze and a Bowie over 4 days, and I was just in heaven. Like, that's fantastic to get them both, and so good.
The Bowie was strong. It was good.
Yeah. I know it was good. The end, I always love the end.
But Trey isn't who he used to be, and he always nails the end. He gets
yeah, it's such an interesting kind of thing that's happened with it, but it's never bad. But it's just right. It's just a different song. It's just a different thing than what it was. And then
you're never going to be able, like we've said before, you're never going to be able to, kind of go back in time and 1.0 is over, so it's not like we can do anything. We'll do those songs like that again. So it's like you take what you can get, and this is the Phish you listen to, and it is what it is, and you still love those songs. So
yeah. And the interesting thing about the song more is when he plays it, or when Phish plays it, it's kind of like we never really need any more. You know what I mean? Like it's always like in this scenario, which I think I'm a little bit of an earnest, kind of love and light guy. So I don't hate more at all. But it's always in these really bad spots that I don't think are necessary. Like I don't know. Like, why would you play more after Wilson and Bowie?
Because because people want more.
Because it was just Trey's like happy, like I got to get this soulful, joyful. Let's leave them all on this really high, happy, feeling, smiley, soulful note. It's just very Trey. It's just where he is these days, and that's why. To what I told you the other night, fam. It's love and light now. Like I'm not bitching about anything. I'm not complaining, and that just felt like where Trey is these days. He's like, I just want everybody to feel good, and I'm gonna make you walk out the door instead of leaving you with this, classic 1.0. I'm gonna give you a little 4.0 love here with this new stuff, and
Yes, 100%. And yeah, so like this is one of those also nights where it is kind of one of those, hey, our guy Sean's out there in the world here. Hello, Sean. We miss and love you. He's our only commenter tonight. So it's a little slow on the Wook Plus channel. Don't be afraid to comment out there. We love to see those.
It is Saturday night.
Yeah, I hope people are out doing Saturday night stuff and not at home watching Wook Plus on YouTube. Get out there and do something fun.
You can't blame them. But a couple things that didn't happen, right? No Antelope. The obvious admission is You Enjoy Myself, right? The one omission, I guess, that didn't happen. And I'm curious, like, obviously,
and it didn't happen in Mexico either, did it?
Yeah.
I'm curious on a couple levels. It definitely has surely not been played on some run at MSG before, right?
Well, I would think. I don't know.
There's been so many, right? So part of you goes, no way that this was the first time. But then part of you goes like, why would you not, especially in the early days, you would think that was definitely got played every run, you know. And so it's just another, if more gets played and You Enjoy Myself doesn't, you know, it's 4.0, you know what I mean? You know, it's just, it is what it is. And, but you guys got such an incredible run and treat, and I'm so jealous.
And Fam, that's one of those things we talk about. There's so many songs now that things get left out, and that's one of, you know, that's the place now. Is it's like you don't get a MSG because we got to get in Drift While You're Sleeping and all these other songs, but that's the way it is. You know?
Yeah. But I'll tell you, again, I hope safe travels to you guys. You're in the middle of your travels there, Kev, or sorry, Trav, and Kev, safe travels tomorrow night or tomorrow morning when you're going home. And yeah, I hope you guys have.
This was a lot of fun, fam. All 4 nights, I enjoyed being with you. I enjoyed rehashing it. I enjoyed everybody out there watching us. This was the perfect timing tonight. I'm literally a block from the house now, so. Love it. This is perfect. Love you guys. Tune in Wednesday. Don't forget, we're back Wednesday with the live show.
Wook Plus Live /live. You'll know when we know on Wednesday what it's called. But we are back. Wook Wednesday. So watch for us there. Subscribe and like. Watch the fan art show. We've got that on there for all those great interviews, and just so keep on keeping on. We love you all. And thank you guys for coming after shows, right, and hanging out with us. So we'll see you guys.
Kev.
All right, bye, Kev. Bye, Trav. Love you guys.
Fam.
Oh man, I had the song up ready to go and I missed it. Here it is. Here it comes. You ready?
Okay. Nice. I hear it. I love it.
Rock and roll. All right, guys. Talk to you later.